Hey guys, what's happening? EnderDragon1203 here, and I am playing a interesting game here. So this game is called My Name Is You, and it's the only unusual thing in my life. It's interesting, to say the least. It is a choice-based game, and I have no idea what's going on in this game.
It may seem that the
Oh,
story of you is chaotic. However, in reality, it is not. The more stories you pass through, the more likely you will be to piece it into one whole picture. Use every possible opportunity. The truth is somewhere close.
okay, so there's voice reading. Oh, well, my name is you, and it's the only unusual thing in my life. Okay, so let's see here. Voice? Oh, I can turn the voice on or off? I think I'm gonna leave it on for this. I think this seems pretty interesting. There are chapters in this, apparently, so I might be doing this in parts. Let's start.
I suppose I will start at the very beginning. Chapter 1.
Okay, so it's gonna be reading. Okay, cool.
Once upon a time, there lived you.
Oh goodness, this is long.
Despite his unusual name, his life was hardly any different from others.
Hmm.
It was an unusually usual day when he was getting ready to go to work.
Unusually usual day. Interesting.
2 hours of sleep. What a formality, he said to himself, glancing at his watch.
Hmm.
He was used to working at night, just as he was used to never having days off.
Never having days off? Oh god.
That morning, the buttons on his shirt were fastened faster than usual.
Faster.
This was not by chance. The tear-off calendar boldly declared Friday, April 3rd.
Boldly. Okay.
It reminded him that there were only 3 workdays before his holiday, and there was no room for mistakes.
Okay, you know what? I think... Oh, I can't... Okay, we're gonna exit here. And I'm actually going to turn the voice off so then you guys can listen to me read because that's what you guys want, right? Instead of this being very, very boring. So, I suppose I'll start at the very beginning. Chapter 1. Once upon a time, there lived Hugh. Despite his unusual name, his life was hardly different from others. It was an unusually usual day when he was getting ready to go to work. 2 hours of sleep. What a formality, he said to himself, glancing at his watch. He was used to working at night, just as he was used to never having days off. That morning, the buttons on his shirt were fastened faster than usual. This was not by chance, the tear-off... Oh, this was not by chance. The tear-off calendar boldly declared Friday, April 3rd. It reminded him that there were only 3 workdays before his holiday, and there was no room for mistakes. His room in a communal apartment was not very big, so it did not take him long to pack. Having got dressed, he quietly walked past the neighbors' rooms in the hallway, into the hallway. Somebody was snoring loudly in the furthest room, which caused you to smile for some reason. He walked up to the front door and accidentally stepped on a pile of letters. Picking up the envelopes, he saw his name on one of them. You automatically put it into his pocket and walked out. He thought that next Sunday, a huge stone would be removed from the entrance to the crypt of his existence by the power of labor legislation. Kept you going. Oh, so we have a choice here. We can either hurry to work or read the letter. Hmm. Uh, well, I guess I don't know. Um, let's read the letter. Glancing at the address line, a chill went through Yu's body for a split second. From Darina. Yu was confused by the seal on the envelope indicating the place of departure. Nola Grand? I don't know how to pronounce that. Is she really coming back to Connaught? You wondered. Dear you, my doctor's suspicions are confirmed. I have the same disease that struck you. I thought it over and decided that we need to break up. It may seem that something like that should bring people closer, but it would be unfair to myself. We can have our last date on the morning of April 3rd in this seafront cafe, and then I will leave Connaught and go abroad. Okay. He felt dizzy. Um, well, since she's breaking up and she wants to have one final kind of date, let's go to the cafe. Although you suffered from excessive hypochondria, hypochondria, he really had an incurable illness. He clearly remembered the day when he heard the diagnosis. Since that moment, he stopped counting his new birthmarks on his body. He seemed shaken up after reading the letter, but not surprised. He tried to squeeze out a tear to see if he was still capable of showing emotions. Alas, he just welled up a little. Aw. You decided that it was because he had drunk a large amount of coffee which dehydrated his already dried up body. Approaching the seafront, he tried to spot Dorina. It did not take him long to find her. There she was, at the cafe table. She probably had no clue how much he appreciated her starting the conversation. Usually you were late. I'm tired. I hope you understand me. Wow. Okay. But he did not. Having overcome his anxiety, he squeezed out a handful of words. Oh. Um, let's ask her to stay. Do not go away. Let's try once more. Too late. I've put up with my life for the sake of the old age. Now there will be no old age. There had always been a gap of misunderstanding between them. He had embraced his illness long ago, and I don't. I can't read that word. He yielded to his ailment with a loud "make yourself at home." It seemed that he had become closer to his illness than to Darina. Aw, well that sucks. He got distracted thinking about himself and missed her meaning. Ah. Reflections on how to rebuild his life from the very beginning prevailed over the others. He was not ready to renew his relationship with himself, so he mentally grasped at the crumbles of the past, seeping through his crucified palms. Well then, I am sorry. I've made my decision. I don't know why I arranged this meeting. Yes, you do. Come on now. She paid the bill and left. Wow! You froze in place, at first not daring to say anything, and then resigning himself to the role of a scapegoat thrown into the unknown. For some reason, he saw something noble in their breakup. Wait, what? Something noble? Yu was sure that he went to work immediately after the meeting, but when he came to his senses, he realized that he was on an unfamiliar street cloaked by dusk. He's late. Despite the fact that the street seemed to be deserted, he felt someone's heavy presence. Turning to a rustle behind his back, you impaled his chest on a knife, squeezed in the hands of a long familiar figure. Huh? Greetings from the past? Whether from pain or surprise, you cannot utter a single word. Well, yeah, he's got a knife lodged in his chest. The murderer carefully took out the blade and laid your motionless body on the ground. Blood flowed through the cold mosaic of paving stones. The corners of Yu's mouth spread into a smile. What? Wait a minute! Wait! Hang on a second! Wait a minute! Wait a minute! It's Russian? Oh, that's cool. That's actually a good, interesting fact. But, like, seriously? You. What? Okay. I guess I got the bad ending. Okay. Well, let's try this again, shall we? We don't need to know this. Okay, so I'm back at the first choice. Let's hurry to work, actually. We're not gonna read the letter. The trip to work took him by several blocks. He considered early morning to be an extremely pleasant time of day. Universal euphoria, although euphoria usually precedes inevitable death. As soon as he went into the park, he saw a kid in ragged clothes running away from a pack of stray dogs. Okay, his eyes caught a swiftly ticking clock hand. Help or step back? A kid running from a pack of stray dogs with a watch. Let's try to help the kid out. Even though you had been scared of dogs since childhood, he was going to run to the kid's aid, but the latter stumbled and fell down on the pavement, and all the dogs lost interest in him? Seriously? You had nothing to do with the outcome of events, but he was filled with pride for his desire to help the boy that he did not even know. Okay. It made him come up to the kid who was sitting on the ground with a bloody knee and a toothless smile. Not because of the fall, but due to his age. Yu was about to give the kid a handkerchief with his initials on it when he noticed it had fresh traces of his own blood. So he just asked, "Can I do something for you?" What? Thank you, sir. I am okay. They did not mean to hurt me? At that moment, you saw his boss in the distance and hurried to work, shouting a quick "be careful" over his shoulder. On the way to the office, the thought about how strange it felt to be addressed as Sir bounced around in his head. Although he had passed a 30-year-old milestone, he felt closer to the kid with a bloody knee than to sirs of any kind, even the least important of them. Okay. He went up 3 flights of stairs and found himself on the top floor. It was the office of the insurance company where he worked. So he works at an insurance company. That's not bad. The door was unlocked. Was he late? Wait. The door was unlocked. He tried to walk in but was stopped by a stranger. Busybody. Wait! Where are you going? Before you could give a proper response to the cad, his boss came up the stairs struggling to catch his breath and did it himself? Wait. Let him in? Wait. They both entered the office and the boss walked you to his desk where he explained the situation to him in private. That is Frank, my distant relative. He needs to do an internship, so he is going to work here for a while. Okay. As who? As who?! Oh, as a security guard. Okay. That makes more sense. To avoid any further questions, the boss turned around and went into his office. As internships, an internship as a security guard in an insurance company fitting 2 rooms. Ridiculous. If I was blessed with a writing talent, I would definitely immortalize this, thought you. Okay. You got down to some clerical work. Okay. You found a moment and took the letter. You found. I keep reading that so weird. I keep reading you as like I'm dictating someone's life, and I technically am. You found a moment and took the morning letter out of his pocket. Glancing at the address line, a chill went through Yu's body for a second. From Darina. Okay. Yu was confused on the seal by the seal on the envelope indicating the place of departure. No leave grad. Truly coming back to Connaught, he said aloud. Suddenly there was a curious voice saying, "Who is coming?" Yu did not answer and continued reading. Okay, blah blah blah, that's the cafe and everything. Okay. He felt dizzy. Yeah, this is kind of playing out the same. Oh, okay, so we either go to the cafe or stay at work. Well, she said that the last time she said that you're usually late. So maybe if we go to the cafe now? Let's go to the cafe. You hurried to the cafe. It is uncertain whether he actually wanted to find her there or hoped for the opposite. One way or another, when he was in the appointed place, Darina was not there. Oh. All emotions left you in an instant. Oh god. He saw the kid on the porch of the cafe veranda. Kid was looking at him, squinting in an odd way. Why are you squinting? I am not. I mean, I closed my eye on purpose. Okay. Go ahead, close one eye. You covered his right eye with his hand to humor the kid. Feel strange? Do not open it! I do it to remember about the mercy that life bestows on us. You get used to having just one eye, and then it turns out you have another. Or here's another thing. What is happening? Hold your breath! What? Why am I getting these endings? Okay, so my conclusion is don't go to the cafe. Just don't go to the cafe. Okay, well... Alright, well, let's try that again, shall we? Okay, so we're back at this point, so we gotta hurry to work. Yada yada yada. Hurry to work, hurry to work. See the kid. Alright, so instead of helping the kid, let's step back. It was unclear what had made you anxious, fear of dogs or of being late to work. He distanced himself from reality, refusing to play any role except that of an outside observer. However, he had no chance to interfere? The picture of the kid falling down on the ground, breaking his skin on his knees flashed before his eyes, then of the dogs losing all interest in him after that. He immediately felt nauseous, everything went dark, and it seemed to him that he was looking at himself through the eyes of the kid. It was just like when he was a child. Deja vu. In order to justify himself, he took the handkerchief with his initials and handed it to the kid. Before the latter could say anything, you ran away to avoid further conversation. In a hurry, he went in the wrong direction, unaware of it until he ran into a locked gate on his way. He casually turned around and went back to work. Okay. He was almost there when he saw his boss enter the office building. He took it as his personal failure, although his watch showed that he still had several minutes. You barely got into the office when he noticed two male silhouettes behind him. He turned around to see his boss and a man he had never seen before, a little further away. Figuring they would have to be introduced to each other, he turned to the stranger first. Let me introduce myself. You. My name is Frank. And you? To avoid unnecessary explanations, you took a name tag from his table and pointed to it. Yes, despite the fact there was no live communication with clients, the work charter required name tags, probably to remember his name. Wow, that's a very unusual name. Nice to meet you. It is the only unusual detail of my life. Ah. An awkward pause hung in the air. The boss standing behind Frank frowned and cast a reapproachable glance at you. Frank is our security guard starting today. Who? We have nothing to... A security guard. Some of my important documents are missing. Oh. There are only two of us. What kind of documents? That I can't tell you. Wow. Well, you mean you suspect me? Wow. Oh, no, I don't. Okay. Eliminating any opportunity to continue the conversation, the boss turned around and went into his office. Okay. The room plunged into silence. You got down to some clerical work. Okay. You found a moment and took out the letter. Glancing. Yeah, we already know about this. Curious voice. Didn't answer and continued reading. Blah, 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 blah. We already know that. He felt dizzy. We're gonna stay at work this time. Don't go to the cafe. Cafe is a bad place. Another working day turned into night. The newly appointed watchman dozed off at his improvised post, an ordinary chair at the entrance to the office. Yu was sitting at his sturdy desk, imagining again and again how the shelves stocked with books on jurisprudence? Jurisprudence would break loose due to their own weight from friable concrete and break his head. Okay. Allowing himself a little break, oh my god, I keep reading that so awkward. You took his diary from his table drawer and made a note. I never took a plate of soup at school lunches, even when I really wanted to. I was afraid to spill it in front of everyone before I could put it on the table, which seems to be my life's pattern. Feeling some satisfaction from writing that, he resumed work. Is there no deeper meaning to that? There was a rustling of the janitor's broom and the trill of birds outside the window. More accurate than the clock, you thought. Okay. Oh! Well, I guess we're done with chapter 1. Okay then. I have time for another one. We'll do this chapter and then that's it. On the second day of work, every sip of coffee came out of his nose as blood. Okay, covering his nose with his hand, he went to the restroom. Cough. Excuse me, I wish I could narrate a little faster and keep you from getting bored, but it's very difficult in my... He's breaking the fourth wall? Let's continue. Oh, okay, so we're just like... We're not gonna talk about that? We're just not gonna talk about that. Okay, I thought it was referring the cough. I thought the cough was referring to the character coughing up blood into the sink, and then we would go with that. But I guess he just just decided to break the fourth wall there. Okay, that's interesting. Returning to his workplace, you saw Frank sitting at his table and leafing through his personal diary. Why is he going through his diary? Such violation of personal boundaries, it seemed, was about to put you out of temper. Ask him to give it back, snatch it back. I'm not a rude person. I'm not. But if you're going through something personal, if you're seriously going through something personal of mine, I would snatch it back. But I don't want to seem rude in this. I want to be a nice person, so I'm going to ask him to give it back. Give it to me. That's not asking. Here, take it. I was curious. Oh. In a moment you hid his diary in the drawer of his desk. I'm sorry if I offended you. The incident seemed to be over, but Frank's intrusive nature got the better of him. Really? Can I ask you a question? No! You cannot! Why does everybody in your notes die? What? Okay, hang on. You don't need to go into anything personal here, bud. Frowning, you ignored the question of the self-styled guard. The office phone rang. Ring, 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 ring. Well, we'll answer the call. It's an insurance company. What do you gotta do? As soon as you came up to the phone, the ringing stopped. He barely returned to his desk when the phone rang again. Ring, 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 ring. Answer the call. Ring, 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 ring. As soon as you came up to the phone, the ringing stopped. That's the same text. We have to ignore the call. It's an insurance company. We are working at an insurance company. You is working at an insurance company. I guess we're just gonna ignore the call. The ringing bored into his skull. You was buzzing together with the receiver. You involuntarily took off, but his head started spinning and he was seeing dark spots. Holding onto the railing, you slid down the... Oh, okay, I thought it was gonna say you slid down and jumped into the... down the hole, or whatever, of the stairs. Holding onto the railing, you slid down the stairs and jumped out into the street. That's not good. He ran into his boss at the door who stood there smoking. Go to bed now. You can give me the rest of the papers tomorrow. Oh. He did not have any strength left to work anyway. Okay. Although he left some things in the office, you was not in a hurry to go back. He sat down on the doorstep to rest. Okay. His vision was not particularly keen on the second day, so it took him a while to recognize a familiar face. You livened a little. A welcoming grin appeared on his face. Hi, Max. Why are you not at work? I dismissed my students a little early. How are you feeling? As usual, another night shift. If I were your father, I would have fired you long ago. Wow. That's very rude. What will be left for me then? Max answered with a question. Why are you gonna answer a question with another question? That doesn't make any sense. Do you want me to take your shift? No thanks. I'm good. No thanks. You quickly said goodbye and left. Okay. He heard some painful cough behind his back, and his lips let out a grin of satisfaction. Coming home, you could barely stand on his feet. Notwithstanding his lack of sleep and fatigue, he could not fall asleep. The day flashed in his head on repeat. Okay. As for the breakup, he did not see himself as a victim. Okay. On the contrary, the entire time during his relationship with Darina, you wondered, why did she love him, drained of all strength and weak in spirit from birth? He did not anymore. Why is the music quiet? Dizziness and pain subsided. Don't tell me. At some point, he even thought about calling a doctor just to make sure he was still alive. But sleep took its toll. Oh, well, I guess I did that correctly. Alright, well, um, I guess I'll be doing another part of this, so I hope you guys enjoyed my reading and the first part of this game. I'm still confounded as to why in the world it gave me a fourth wall break and we just didn't even do anything about that. I'm so confused. That's like what the heck? But why is it gonna give me a fourth wall break and not even say anything about it? I thought the cough was meant for him coughing up blood into the sink or something, but I guess not. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Um, I will be doing some more of this, and yeah, I, I'm still confused. I'm still very, very confused. But anyway, we'll get to more in the next episode. See you guys then.